Hello, everyone. It's Robin here on the Good Place bench in Marrakech as part of the International Conference of Urban Health. And we just keep on going, having some inspiring people here on the bench talking about their passion, their vision, their work, um, all related to shaping that good place. So today I'm joined here by Kristina Ulm, and thanks for booking in appointments and being here this morning on day two. Tell us a bit more, Kristina, about you, why you're holding some fruit, and what is it you would like to share with the world?
Thank you so much, Robin. So this is amazing. Thanks for the opportunity and having a great bench with a view on the sun here in Marrakech. I'm holding fruit because I would like all of us to imagine if we would have streets full of fruit trees, full of herbs, full of green, everyone walking along, gardening together, instead of cars parking row after row and just not being even used most time of the day. So
Agree?
yeah, that's great.
They're
Yeah.
amazing.
Imagine you can just walk outside and pick your lunch, just pick some herbs. And I had that. I had that living in Sydney.
Okay.
We have nature strips. I don't know if you're in North America, you may know Verges, nature strips,
Okay.
the grass just along the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just grass, right?
Right.
Like here in Morocco, they would say it's bare soil because you need to water grass as well. But in Germany, where it rains a lot, or in Australia, North America, it's grass. So imagine instead of grass, we'd have something much more productive.
Like fruit trees.
For example,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. So you're focused on creating more edible public spaces?
Edible public spaces, but also just green public spaces. So
Okay.
it wouldn't have to be edible necessarily because it depends on the situation.
Okay.
But yeah, so I did my master's research
Yeah.
in Indonesia, in Jakarta,
Okay, nice.
looking at informal settlements because what I was interested in is how people in those informal kampungs are creating public spaces themselves and how they grow food or garden. And it's just amazing. You go into these neighborhoods and you feel so safe. It's not like what people imagine with slums.
Yeah.
There are people getting together, creating playgrounds, gardening along the streets, having chili pots and harvesting their chilies. And I got inspired and I said, well, why can we have that in Indonesia? Why not in Australia or in Germany or other countries I lived in? Like, why does the Jakarta government allow people to take over those neighborhoods? And it's just they don't have the funds, right? There we go again. The government doesn't have the funds to take care of public space.
They let the citizens.
So they let the citizens do it. So you can say, well, the government should take care of it. But on the other hand, the citizens get together, they have organized neighborhood organizations, and it builds this community. And I think that's a big thing. So when I went back to Sydney and I started my PhD, and the pandemic hit, and I could not travel anywhere to do my research. So my supervisor said, well, maybe there's informal gardening in Australia and Sydney. And I said, no, there isn't. But there was. There actually is a lot. You won't believe it. And now that I'm almost finished with my research and I've been talking to community members, people gardening, people complaining about the gardens,
Okay.
because there is always issues, right?
Yeah.
People working in local government, doing the policies or managing those gardens, managing those neighborhood issues.
Yeah. Same like housing corporations do it as well in Netherlands.
What do they do?
Well, they take all the complaints of those who live there, but mostly also about the garden.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, when you talk to these people, it's they would say there's a lot of informal gardening happening. It is people just doing it, and that's what my research is about. So looking at that interface between people building the communities, gardening in streets, but there's issues, and how do you manage those, and what can local governments do and community organizations?
But if I listen to you correctly, there's so much layering and everything, right? So it's of course that community, it's that public space, it's the public space for those citizens to be used, and then we move on. Okay, what is happening on the public space when they get the freedom to create their own
Yeah.
thing, and then linking it to nature and health is back in line almost.
So what was your question?
No, the question is more. No, I'm thinking while I'm saying this, and then my question
It
arises.
is layering, yes.
No, but more like if you would turn it around, that people see the benefits of that it's something healthy, or they would mobilize themselves sooner, maybe faster, in seeing how important those public spaces are for them.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's really underestimated because it's a lot of leftover, underutilized spaces. And if you start greening them with citizens, it's actually, how do you say, like you hit one fly with two, like all the solutions at once, because you get climate benefits, you're cooling, you have evaporation, it's shading, depending what it is. Water retention in the city. So it's all those natural benefits, biodiversity, creating habitats, creating ecological corridors. So you get that side, but you also get the social benefits, and it's on an individual level. Like people, like there's studies that it even helps just to have a picture of green space in your office and you're more calm. So imagine if our streets are all greener, it just reduces your anxiety and stress levels.
Yeah.
It benefits everyone, not just the ones gardening, but if you're the one gardening, that gives you double benefits. You like relaxing, you get the
outside.
soil, you meet your neighbors. Like I talked to over 70 people, like 50 gardeners, and everyone was just like, they met their neighbors, they built these communities, they learned something new, they're educating little kids on how tomatoes are grown, and it's just, a win-win. Win-win for everyone.
So, how can we make citizens more aware of that importance?
Well, talking to Robin on the Good Place bench, so that would be one thing.
Okay, checked box.
Check box, done for today. No, so how can we make people more aware? I think that's one of my quests. It's really to awareness is the big thing, to teach people about the benefits, because often local governments especially, they would see the risks. It's a liability. What if someone gets injured? What about soil pollution, which are very valid points, but they're all manageable. So it's going out, like I'm an urban planner, a practicing urban planner, so I'm not just an academic, and I know like we have to be practical and pragmatic.
You roll up your sleeves.
I roll up my sleeves, exactly.
You garden.
I garden, I do actually, I do. I was giving a workshop here yesterday, so what every one of us can do is just start gardening. So I started it in my local neighborhood when I moved back to Germany, got my neighbors together, and that's the one tip. If you do it, ask your neighbors, don't ask your neighbors. Inform your neighbors beforehand. So what I did, I printed out 100 little pieces of paper saying, I will start a small micro community garden in this underutilized space. Would you like to join? If you ask people for feedback, they're going to start complaining. So just invite them to join. And people, if they really have a complaint, they'll let you know.
And what happened?
What happened is a few people joined, which was great. A few people said they don't have time to join, but they think it's great. And the thing is, because I informed the whole neighborhood beforehand, no one went to council later and complained. And I talked to people who started gardening who did not inform their neighbors, and just that they didn't inform them made people upset. Even though they like gardens, maybe they like the flowers.
They felt left out.
They felt left out. They were like, you didn't ask me. I walk past this every morning, but you didn't ask me. And there's huge time and resources spent by people going to council and complaining and saying, oh, they started these pots and it's causing mold in my house, which An architect said can't be, but yeah. So get the neighbors on board.
Everyone,
Number one learning.
all your neighbors on board.
We'll inform them.
No,
like I
sure,
said.
sure. You cannot leave out anyone.
Don't leave anyone behind. Yeah, but that's the number one thing. And if you're in council, talk to your insurance. They can cover it. Yes, they can. There's always people who are like, no, they can't. There's issues. If you're
This is like a nice how-to guide.
That's what I want to do as well. Yeah, I need to finish my PhD first. I'm about to write up. I should be sitting home writing
Maybe
it up.
we can share the how-to guide on Good Place.
It would be great. It's just going to take a bit. But yes, I'm really planning
You can
to do
start
that.
with just A4, just step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Step one, yes. So there will be a how-to guide for activists, which is all of us. Like all of us have a street in front of our house, and a how-to guide for local government and
Oh, exactly.
planners.
Yeah, like make a how-to guide to citizens to actually actively work on their own urban health.
Yep, exactly. Because I talk to people, you would be surprised when I ask them how old they are. So if you want to look like you're 50 in your 80s and 70s, you just should start gardening now.
Especially also that because not everyone has a garden.
Exactly, that's the point. And in Germany, there's allotment gardens, like in the UK. Long waiting lists. People are waiting for over 10 years to get an allotment space. Community gardens in Australia, booked out. There's no allotments, but community gardens, booked out, and long waiting lists. So one person I talked to said people are joining in on her public verge garden in that nature strip because they don't get a spot in the community garden. The childcare preschool kids are coming and looking at the little bugs and insects. Yeah.
Do you know the concept of tile whipping, tile flipping?
What? No. What is that?
It's in the Netherlands, or maybe it's international, but it started also in the Netherlands. In Dutch, they call it tegelwippen. So, like pavements and so on, sidewalks, they have these tiles, right?
I do. I was
And
reading an article about that.
And they have a national championship of tile flipping, if I translate it well. And that's like a neighbor decision that they just give up a piece of pavement or parking spot by making it a sport to tile flip it. And they tile flip, everything that's gone will be turned into a pocket park.
Yeah. Oh, that is amazing. Yeah, someone recently shared an article like this with me because once you start talking about it, people start sending you photos of like, Kristina, in this city, I have seen this growing along the street.
I can get you in touch with the guys that are doing it in the Netherlands.
That's great. So some local governments in Sydney have gardening competitions and they included verge gardens or like these little nature strip gardens as one category. Yeah, so there's many different ways to promote it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, to promote to planners, local governments, citizens, and just find people who are promoting it again, right? Now you know the idea. You're gonna tell people not just about tile flipping, but starting to garden. Yeah.
Kristina, amazing. I love the energy behind this mission, and I actually feel like I should do more in my own streets about urban gardening. Although I don't find that I have green hands, but yeah, you'll never get it if you don't do it. So
Yeah. It's not too difficult. You just get started, and that's why once you put the idea into your neighbors' minds, it's always easier together.
or at least provide an idea that the neighbors also can do it. It doesn't necessarily have to be you to do it. All right. Just bring neighbors together to upgrade your street.
Yeah. You can share the tasks, do watering. Yeah. Take care of each other a bit. Yeah.
Create a schedule.
No, that'd be very German.
Make it very German.
No, when we started
Okay, so
doing
Dutch
it,
is very agenda
we would-
based.
agenda-based. Now we would say like, oh, those plants look a bit poor. I'm just gonna water it for them as well. Of course, yeah.
So who's taking care of your garden now you're here?
Say it again. Who's? My daughter.
Okay. Not your neighbor.
Not my neighbors. No. Yeah, and it's actually gardening. Like my indoor garden is my daughter, but the outdoor garden, that's the other thing. The season is a bit short.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's already snowing. in Germany.
Okay, beautiful. Always at the end of a conversation, the main question arises, of course. What is a good place to you? And what should we do all together? I mean, somehow answered it, but what can we all do together to create a good place?
A good place is a green place and a communal place. So talk to your neighbors, introduce yourself, say hi, just say hi to people and smile. And yeah, start putting little plants, little seeds, seed bombs.
Thank you so much for your time and sharing your story. For everyone watching, go green your street, go start an urban gardening community, go meet your neighbors, mobilize them, and yeah, maybe that's the vision that you want to share. Like a better urban health starts with just in front of your, just outside of your door.
Just outside your doorstep, yep, on our streets. So yeah, thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Robin. It was great
And,
to talk to you.
Have a great conference.
Thank you, thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.